Minute Math. When you need help, you use Minute Math.
I'm Sean Gannon, and this is Minute Math. And today we're going to learn about solving inequalities. We're going to solve each inequality, graph, and solution. So, if I was given this inequality, 0 is greater than 3x minus 3 minus 6. So what we want to do is solve for x, all right? So we're going to get x by itself. Everything's the same as with the equal sign, except there's a few rules that will happen. We'll hit those when we go. So we combine, let's combine the, we have this minus a 6 is like plus a negative 6, right? So we have minus 3 minus 6 is minus 9. So 0 is greater than 3x minus 9 here, okay? Then we add a 9 to both sides. So we add a 9 right here. And we're left with 9 is greater than 3x. We divide by 3 both sides, and we're left with 3 is greater than x. Or vice versa, x is less than 3. Okay? So now we need to graph this. Okay, so let's make a little graph. And sometimes I like to pick numbers near 3 to be right in the middle, and 3 is pretty close to 0, so we're making 0 right in the middle. So we have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, 6. And you don't need to go all the way out to write them out. That's fine with me. So x is less than 3. So we're going to put an open circle at 3. So an open circle right here at 3. Okay, because it's not equal to 3, it's just less than 3. And then we put our arrow to the left. Now we have blue on blue, but you should be able to see that. So we have my arrow to the left. There we go. So now my graph shows where x is less than 3. 4x plus 1 minus 1 is greater than or equal to -8. Okay? Well, what I want to do here now is I want to get x by itself. So I see the 1 minus 1 right there. I can see that's going to cancel itself out, right? 1 minus 1 is 0. So I'm just going to eliminate that. My 4x now is greater than or equal to -8. And I want to divide by 4 to both sides. So we divide by 4 to both sides. And we're left with x is greater than or equal to -8 divided by 4, which is a -2. And so our final answer again is just x is greater than or equal to -2. So when we create our number line here, let's just put 0 right here. We have -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6. That's good enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay. So now what I want to do is at -2, I'm going to put a closed circle because it's equal to -2. So we have a closed circle right there. Okay. Closed circle there at -2. And then since x is greater than -2 as well, we'll put our arrow to the right. And there we have it. Our final answer here is just x is greater than or equal to -2. -1 is less than or equal to 2n plus 4 minus 5. All right. We want to get n by itself. So I see the 4 and minus 5 right there on the right-hand side. I'm going to simplify them together. 4 minus 5 is a -1, or minus 1. So we have minus 1 is less than or equal to 2n, and the 4 minus 5 is minus 1, right? So now I'm going to bring that 1 to the other side. I'm going to add a 1 to both sides here. And -1 plus 1 is just 0, and then 0 is less than or equal to 2n. And this is where students get in trouble. They get confused. They divide by 2 to both sides, and sometimes they undefined, sometimes they'll say like 1 or something, but really we divide by 2 to both sides and we're going to get 0. So here, 0 divided by 2 is 0, so 0 is less than or equal to just n. So we can flip that, and n can be written first. So with 0 is less than or equal to n, n is greater than or equal to 0. All right. So now let's go graph this. Well, let's put 0 right in the middle. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, and 1, -6. Okay? So if the 0 is greater than or equal to, or n is greater than or equal to 0, so we're going to put a closed circle right here at 0, right? And then we're going to shade to the right, right? Because n is greater than 0 as well. So shade to the right. And there we have it, our little graph. -6 is greater than 5n plus 5 plus 4. Okay. Well, the first thing I like to do here is see the 5 and 4. I'm just going to combine that together to be a 9. So we have -6 is greater than 5n plus 9. My next step, I want to subtract a 9 to both sides. Bring that over. Let's get n by itself. Subtract 9 to both sides. And I'm left now, well, on the left-hand side, -6 minus a 9. Same thing as -15, right? So we have -15 right here is greater than 5n. From there, divide by 5 to both sides. Okay? And I'm left with n by itself, so -15 divided by 5 is a -3 is greater than n. So I can rewrite that up here to be n is, well, -3 is greater than n. That means n is less than -3. So now we need to graph this, okay? So let's just go put -3 right in the middle. Okay, put -3, so we have -2 right here, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3. And then we have -4, -5, -6, -7, -8. Okay? We always don't have to put 0 right in the middle. Well, if n is less than a -3, that less than, but not equal to, right, becomes an open circle right at -3. Then from there, we want to shade to the left, right? So we draw a little line to the left. And now you don't have to do the line that I'm doing here. I'm just doing it so you can see it. Shading there. But either way, our final answer now is just n is less than a -3. We have 0 is less than or equal to 2n plus 3n. Well, from there, what I want to do is I see 2n and 3n on the right. I can combine that together to be 5n. 0 is less than or equal to 5n. From there, I need to divide by 5 to both sides to get n by itself. Divide by 5. Now 0 divided by 5 is just 0, so 0 is less than or equal to n. That's pretty easy, and now I can rewrite that to have n by itself, or n to come first. It's already by itself, so n comes first here, but 0 being less than or equal to n is the same thing as n is greater than or equal to 0. So now we have our final answer. I just need to graph it. So we have, let's put 0 right here, and we have -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So from there, that well, n is greater than or equal to 0, we put a closed circle right here at 0, and then if n is greater than, right, we shade to the right. Shade to the right there, and there we have it. Our final answer. 2p minus 4p is less than or equal to -2. Alright, so right now what I want to do is I'm going to combine the 2p and the minus 4p together. That combines to be a -2p is less than or equal to -2. Now from there, I divide by -2 to both sides, and this is where it gets tricky. When I divide by -2, I am left with, well, let's do that. Divide by -2, divide by -2. P is here, and on this side, -2 divided by a -2 is a +1. Okay? But since we divided by a negative over the inequality, right? So we divided by a negative over the inequality, we switched the sign. So instead of less than sign, it's a greater than sign. So we have a greater than, and then or equal to, and it still stays there, and then everything else is the same. So that's the only trick to remember. When we divided by a negative over the inequality, we flip the sign. So we have -2 divided by -2 is a +1. It causes us to flip the sign. So now we have p is greater than or equal to a +1. So I'm going to rewrite that here. P is greater than or equal to a +1. So now let's graph that. So 0 right here, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, and -6. Why not? Since p can equal 1, we put a closed circle right there at 1. Then, since p is greater than 1 as well, we shade to the right. Shade to the right. And there we have it. We have our graph that matches our final answer. 7 is less than a negative k minus 3, and that's in parentheses, plus 2. Okay. Now this one's a little tricky. Okay, so let's go be careful here. First thing I'm going to do is I distribute that negative across to both parts within the parentheses. Okay, so if 7 is less than, now negative times a negative is a positive k, so a positive k there. The negative times a negative 3 is a positive 3, so if k, positive k plus 3, and then we have the plus 2. Well, from there, 3 plus 2 is just 5 now, so we don't worry about the parentheses. That kind of gets eliminated once we distribute. So 7 is less than k plus 5. From there, I subtract a 5 to both sides, and I'm left with 7 is less, excuse me, got ahead of myself. Slow down there, Sean. Right? 7 is less than, 7 minus 5 is a positive 2, so 2 is less than k. So I can rewrite that having k come first. K is greater than 2. They mean the same thing. So now we have our final answer. K is greater than 2. I need to graph it. So let's put 0 right here. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5, and negative 6. Okay? Well, k is greater than 2. We have a open circle at 2 because it's not equal to 2. So we have an open circle here at 2. And since k is greater than 2, we shade to the right. So we shade to the right there. And there we have it, our final answer. 3 minus. And so my cat is scratching against the stand, so I'm going to shook there for a second. 3 minus 2 times n minus 4 is greater than a negative 1. Alright, so from here, what I want to do is get n by itself. We got to simplify a little bit. So it's up to you how you want to do it, but I first distribute this minus 2 across. So 3 here, and then a minus 2 times n is a minus 2n, and minus 2 times a negative 4 is a positive 8. Plus 8 here is greater than negative 1. Now I'm going to combine my two parts. I have 3 and a positive 3 and a positive 8 that need to be combined together, and that is going to be a positive 11. So negative 2n plus 11 is greater than negative 1. I'm going to subtract 11 on both sides. Okay. Now be careful. If we subtract over inequality, we do not change the sign. So the negative 2n on the left, and then negative 1 minus 11, right, is a negative 12. So we keep the less than sign with a negative 12. Then I need to divide by negative 2 to both sides to get n by itself. And this is where it gets tricky. I'll kind of write this up here, right? Negative 2n divided by negative 2 is a positive n. Great. And then on the right-hand side, we have negative 12 divided by negative 2, right? Negative 12 divided by negative 2 is a positive 6. But we divided over the inequality, so that inequality flips from a greater than sign to a less than sign. And so our final answer is just n is less than 6. Okay, so now let's graph that. So let's put 3 right here. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 2, not negative, yeah. 1, 0, negative 1, negative 2, and negative 3. Okay. Well, since n is less than 6, but not equal to, we have an open circle right there at 6, okay? And then we need to shade to the left. So we shade to the left right here, shading to the left, shading to the left. And there we have it, our final answer. Negative 5 times 1 minus 4a, which is greater than a negative 5, okay? Well, first thing I want to do, okay, actually there's a few ways to go about it, but I'm actually going to distribute the negative 5 across first, okay? So distributing that negative 5 across, okay, what that gives me, well, negative 5 times a negative 1, okay, is a negative 5 right there, and negative 5 times a negative 4a is a positive 20a, okay, positive 20a. Then from there, that's greater than a negative 5, okay? So I want to add a 5 to both sides, right? Get 20 by itself, so I add a 5 here, add a 5, and I have a positive 20a is greater than negative 5 plus 5 is 0. Now from here I need to divide by 20 to both sides, so I divide by 20. Now be careful, 0 divided by 20 is still 0. So we have a by itself is greater than 0. So if we write it here, a is greater than 0. Okay, so now I need to graph that. We have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, -1, -2, -3, -4, -5. Good enough. Open circle at 0 because a is greater than 0 but not equal to. So we open circle right there. And since a is greater than, we shade to the right. And there we have it. We have our final answer. -2 times b plus 1, in parentheses, plus 4, is less than 10. Okay. The first thing I like to do is I'm going to distribute this -2 across. So distribute -2 to both parts in the parentheses. -2 times b is a -2b, and -2 times 1 is a -2. And then we have plus 4, and then is less than 10. Well, let's combine the -2 and positive 4 to be a positive 2. So we have -2b plus 2, right, is less than 10. We now can subtract the 2 to both sides, leaving me a -2b is less than, well, 10 divided by minus 2, right? 10 minus 2 is just an 8. So from here, I'm going to divide by a -2 to both sides. And in doing so, I'll work right here. -2b divided by -2 is a positive b. We're dividing over this inequality, right? We're dividing over the inequality by a negative number. That less than sign flips to a greater than sign. Then from there, 8 divided by a -2 is a -4. So our final answer here is just b is greater than a -4. So let's just put -4 right here in the middle. -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Why not? -5, -6, -7, -8. So now when I graph this, I have b is greater than -4. I'm going to put an open circle right here at -4. Then from there, I'm going to graph to the right what's greater than -4. So I graph to the right, like this. And there we have it. B is greater than a -4. A minus 15 is greater than -4 times a -6 plus 3a. Alright, so first thing I like to do here is I like to distribute this -4 across. So I'm going to leave the a minus 15 right here is greater than. And then we'll distribute the -4 to both parts there. -4 times a -6 is a positive 24. And then -4 times a positive 3a is a minus 12a. So now what we want to do is just get all of our numbers together and all of our letters together. So I'm just going to bring the a's over to the left and the numbers to the right. So I'm going to add a 12a to both sides. Okay. I'm going to add a 15 to both sides. That leaves me with, well, a 13a on the left is greater than, and on the right, we're going to add them together, that's a 39. Okay, so 39, not 3a. 39, 24 plus 15, so 39. So then from there, I want to get a by itself. Well, I divide by 13 to both sides. And I'm left with a is greater than, well, 39 divided by 13, which is 3. So let's go rewrite that here. A is greater than 3. That's our solution. So let's go graph this. Now, I don't leave us much room for the number line here, but let's just put a 0 right here. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and -1, -2, -3, -4, -5. That works for me. Okay? So if a is greater than 3, okay, we have an open circle at 3 because it is not equal to, right? And since it's greater than, we shade to the right. So we shade to the right here, go up the number line, and there we are. We have it. Final answer. 3 times 6b minus 1 is greater than 18 minus 3b. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to distribute the 3 across in a parenthesis. Okay? 3 times 6b is 18b, and 3 times 1, with a minus there, is a 3, so minus 3, right? And that's greater than 18 minus 3b. So now we want to bring our b's together and our numbers together. So let's just go add a 3b to both sides here, plus 3b. And add a 3 to both sides. Okay. This will eliminate the 3's here and these 3b's right there. So 18b plus 3b comes out to be a 21. And then, well, the 3's cancel here, left to the greater than sign, and 18 plus 3 is also just 21. Alright, and the negative 3b and 3b cancel. Well, we divide both sides by 21. Pretty straightforward here, and we have b is just greater than 21 divided by itself is just 1. So we have b is greater than 1 as our answer. So now let's graph it. Alright, let's put 0 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4. That's good. Okay. Well, since b is greater than 0, but not equal to 0, right? It's just greater than 0. We put an open circle, or sorry, greater than 1, not 0, greater than 1. Be careful there. Greater than 1. Put an open circle at 1. B is also greater than 0, but that doesn't really help us too much here. So b is greater than 1. Alright, we have put an open circle, not equal to at 1, and then we shade to the right, showing that it's greater than 1. Okay? And there we have our final answer. 26 plus m is greater than or equal to 5 times the negative 6 plus 3m. Okay? Well, first thing I want to do is I'm going to distribute that 5 across to both parts of that parenthesis. So I have 26 plus m right here is greater than or equal to 5 times a negative 6 is a negative 30, and 5 times a 3m is just a 15. So now we're going to bring all of our m's together and all of our numbers together. Well, what I actually find a little easier, it's up to you how you want to do it. I'm just going to subtract, I'm bringing the m's to the right this time and the numbers to the left. So I'm going to subtract an m here. I'm going to add a 30 here. This leaves me, well, on the left-hand side, the m's cancel, right? And 26 plus 30 is 56. Okay? And 56 is greater than or equal to, well, 15m minus 1m is 14m, so we have 14m right there. Okay, well, we start thinking, okay, what happens if we divide by 14 both sides to get m by itself, right? Well, how many times does m, or 14, go into 56? Well, 14 goes into 56. 4 times 14, 4 times 10 is 40, and 4 times 4 is 16, so add 16 and 40 together, we get 56. So we have 4 here. So 56 divided by 14 is 84. We can rewrite this as m to come first, and m being greater than or equal to 4. So let's go graph that. So here, let's go, or less than equal to 4, right? All right, we want to flip it together. The m's here, and that greater than sign. So 4 being greater than or equal to m is the same thing as m is less than or equal to 4. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Negative 1, negative 2, negative 3. So we have m as less than or equal to 4. Put a closed circle right here at 4 because it's equal to 4. And since it's less than 4 as well, we put the arrow shading to the left. Then from there, okay, we have our final graph and our final answer. 20 minus 2p is greater than negative 2 times p plus 2 plus 4p. Okay. Well, what I want to do first is I like to distribute that negative 2 across. So I'm going to do that first. So 20 minus 2p is greater than negative 2 times p is negative 2p, and negative 2 times positive 2 is a minus 4. Okay. And then we have plus 4p left over. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to simplify the right-hand side. Okay, the left-hand side is already simplified as much as it can be, but the right-hand side, do some work. We have 20 minus 2p on the left is greater than negative 2p, and a positive 4p comes together to be a positive 2p. Okay, and then we have minus 4 right there. Okay, so now what I want to do is I bring all my p's together and all of my numbers together. So in this instance, I'm going to subtract 2p to both sides. Why not? We subtracted 2p to both sides. I'm going to do that. Then I'm subtracting a 20 to both sides. Okay? That leaves me with negative 2p minus 2p and negative 4p. Zooming on the left, and that's greater than, well, negative 4 minus 20 is a negative 24. Okay? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide by negative 4 to both parts. And this is where it gets a little tricky, right? We're going to be divided by a negative over the inequality. So we're left with here just p is greater, well, not greater than anymore, right? Because we divide by a negative over the inequality. Again, greater than sign turns to a less than sign. And negative 24 divided by negative 4 is a positive 6. So I'm going to rewrite it here with p is less than 6 right there. And that's going to be our final answer. So we just need to graph it. So we have, let's put 0 here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Negative 1, negative 2, negative 3. There we go. So if p is less than 6, we have an open circle at 6, and we need to shade to the left. So we shade to the left right there. There we have it. We have p is less than 6. Okay? X plus 1 plus 1 plus 6x is greater than 3 times x minus 4 minus x minus 4. Pretty long right there, right? So the first thing I like to do is just simplify as much as possible. So the left-hand side we can combine together. X and 6x is a 7x, and 1 plus 1 is 2. Okay? I really chunk some part of this now. We're going to distribute the 3 across to both parts here. So we have 3x minus 3 times 4 is 12. And then I'm going to distribute this minus sign as well. We have a minus x, and then now a positive 4. Okay? So the right-hand side, let's go simplify again. So it's 7x plus 2 can stay here on the left, but the right-hand side, let's combine our x's. 3x minus an x is 2x, and negative 12 plus 4 is a negative 8. Okay? So now what I want to do is get my x's together and my numbers together. So I'm going to subtract 2x to both sides, to the left, and subtract 2 to both sides. The numbers to the right. 7x minus 2x is a 5x. That's less than, or sorry, greater than. And then negative 8 minus 2 is a negative 10. So what's left is I just divide by 5 to both sides to get x by itself, and I have x is greater than negative 2. So let's go rewrite that up here. X is greater than negative 2. All right? So I need to graph it now. So we have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5. Okay? And we said x is greater than negative 2. So we have an open circle at negative 2, right? Because it's not equal to negative 2, just greater than, and we shade to the right. Okay? And there we have it. We have a final answer. Negative 6 times 1 plus 6x is less than 6 times 1 minus 5x. Okay? Well, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to distribute both sides, right? So distribute the negative 6 across here on the left. Negative 6 times 1 is a negative 6, and negative 6 times a positive 6x is a negative 36x. That's less than, I can distribute here, 6 times 1 is 6. All right, this one's a positive 6, and 6 times a negative 5x is a negative 30x. Okay? So what we want to do is bring our numbers together and our letters together. So at this point, let's go add a 30x to both sides. Why not? And I add a 6 to both sides. Negative 36x plus 30x is a negative 6x, and that's less than, well, 6 plus 6 is 12. So now I just have to get the x by itself. So I divide by a negative 6 to both sides, and be careful here. Okay, if we're divided by a negative 6, we're left with x by itself. But since we're divided by a negative over the inequality, we flip the sign. Less than becomes a greater than sign. So if x is greater than, 12 divided by negative 6, which is a negative 2. So we have x is greater than negative 2 here. So let's go graph that. Let's go put a 0 here, 1, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay. So if x is greater than a negative 2, we have an open circle at negative 2, but not equal to, right? Since it's not equal to, leave it an open circle. Then we shade to the right because x is greater than negative 2. So we shade to the right here. And there we have it, our final answer. 2 times 1 minus 4r is less than negative 2 times r plus 3 minus 4. All right. So what I want to do here now is I'm going to distribute on both of these sides here. So distribute the 2 across right here. 2 times 1 is 2, and 2 times a negative 4r is a minus 8r. Now we have less than, and distribute this negative 2 across. Negative 2 times r is negative 2r, right? And negative 2 times the positive 3 is a minus 6. And then we have the minus 4 left over here. Well, let's go simplify the right-hand side a little bit. So we have 2 minus 8r right here is less than negative 2r, but negative 6 minus 4, right, is a negative 10. That comes together to be negative 10. All right, so let's bring our numbers together and our letters together. So let's just add a 2r to both sides. We add a 2r to both sides right here, plus 2r. And I'm going to minus a 2 to both sides as well. That gives me, well, negative 8r plus a positive 2r is a negative 6r. And that is less than, well, negative 10 minus 2 is a negative 12. At this point, I need to divide by negative 6 to both sides. Okay, we're kind of running out of space here. So divide by negative 6 to both sides. So let's go over here. Divide by negative 6 to both sides, right? Gives me r by itself. But since I'm dividing by a negative over this inequality, right? Over this inequality, that less than sign flips to a greater than sign. So we have a greater than symbol right here. And the negative 12 divided by negative 6 is a positive 2. And so we have our final answer. So let's go graph it. We have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's go to 10. Why not? Negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4. So r is greater than 2. So we put an open circle at 2. And then we shade to the right, because r is greater than 2. So we shade to the right here. And there we have it, our final answer. Negative 6 times 1 plus 2x is greater than or equal to 6 times 2x minus 1 plus 2x. All right. First thing I want to do is simplify each side. So I'm going to distribute the negative 6 across. So we have negative 6 plus, or actually minus now, right? The negative 6 times 2x is a minus 12x. And that's going to be greater than or equal to, we'll distribute this 6 across now. 6 times 2x is 12x. And 6 times minus 1 is a minus 6. And then we have a plus 2x left over. So now I'm going to simplify this right-hand side. So I'm going to leave left-hand side the same. All right, so bring these two numbers together with the x's. Greater than or equal to 12x plus 2x is a 14x. So we have 14x right there minus 6. All right. So let's go bring our letters together and the numbers together and put the letters to the left. So let's just go subtract a 14x to both sides. Why not? And I'm going to add a 6 to both sides. Okay. Negative 12x minus 14x is minus 28x. Right? And that's greater than or equal to, well, negative 6 plus 6 is 0. All right? So let's be careful here on the last step. I'm going to divide by negative 28 to both sides. And in doing so, I'm left with x by itself. We divide by a negative over the inequality, so the greater than sign turns to a less than sign. It flips, so it's less than or equal to. But then 0 divided by negative 28 is still 0. So we have x is just less than or equal to 0 here. All right, so let's go graph that. Let's put 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, and negative 5. Well, as 0 is less than or equal, or x is less than or equal to 0, we have a closed circle right here at 0, and then x is less than 0, so we shade to the left. Okay, shade to the left. And there we have our final answer. Negative 2 times 1 minus 5x is greater than a negative x plus 1 is less than 1. All right. First thing I want to do is distribute the negative 2 across. So I'm going to distribute this negative 2 here. Negative 2 times 1 is a negative 2. And negative 2 times a negative 5x is a positive 10x. That's greater than, distribute this negative across, negative x minus 1, and then we have a minus 1 out here. Okay? Well, let's just simplify the right-hand side a bit. 2 plus 10x is greater than negative x minus 1 together comes to be a minus 2. So now fairly simple. Let's bring our x's together and our numbers together. So I'm going to add an x to both sides, and I'm going to add a 2 to both sides as well. That leaves me with 10x plus x is 11x is greater than, well, negative 2 plus 2 is a 0. Last step, divide by 11 to both sides, and that's fairly easy because 0 divided by 11 is just 0. So we have x is greater than 0. So x is greater than 0 here. I need to graph it. So let's make a number line. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5. Good enough. Since x is greater than 0 but not equal to, we have an open circle at 0, and then we shade to the right because x is greater than that 0. Okay? And there we have our final answer. 5x minus x plus 2, which is greater than negative 5, 1 plus x right there, plus 3. Okay? Well, what I want to do now is I'm going to kind of distribute some things first. So I have my 5x here, but I'm going to distribute that minus sign across. So we have minus x here, and then minus 2. Okay? That's greater than, and I'll distribute this negative 5 across. Negative 5 times 1 is a negative 5, and then negative 5 times x is a negative 5x. And then we have just a plus 3 left over. Let's go simplify on the left and right hand side individually. 5x minus x is 4x, minus 2 is greater than, well, here we have negative 5 and a positive 3 come together. So I'm going to put the negative 5x first here, and the negative 5 and a 3 is a negative 2. All right. So now I want to get all my numbers together and all my letters together. So I'm going to add a 5x to both sides. So let's bring the letters to the left and add 2 to both sides and bring the numbers to the right. 4x plus 5x is 9x, and that's greater than, make a better greater than sign there, that's good enough. Negative 2 plus 2 is a 0. All right. So now we divide by 9 to both sides, and we're left with x is greater than, well, 0 divided by 9 is 0. So we have x is greater than 0 as our answer here, so let's go graph that. We have, let's put 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5. Why not? X is greater than 0, so it's not equal to, just greater than, so we have an open circle at 0, and then we shade to the right, showing that it's the greater than 0 part. And there we have it. Let's go right. An inequality with x on both sides whose solution is x is greater than or equal to 2. Right? Well, what I like to do here is kind of, in a sense, you can, let's see, it's a kind of a trial and error kind of thing with kind of planning ahead. It's up to you how you want to do it. Some people like to work backwards by taking the solution and just add a few things on both sides and kind of keep it even. But let's look at this. So if I have just had 2x, right, is greater than or equal to x plus 2. Okay? And this is going to be our solution, and we're going to see why, kind of check why it is, right? Well, what happens, let's go look at this. So if I subtracted an x, I kept the 2 there is because we know the whole thing's equal to 2. And I know 2x is just 1 more than regular x that I needed right there. So by putting an x on the right-hand side here, I know if I was to solve this, I would subtract an x to both sides, leaving me what I needed, right? The 2 comes down. We have less than or equal to right here, still less than or equal to, and then 2x minus x is just x. Right? So again, what I would recommend, now there's many solutions, right? Many solutions, here's just possible. One of them is just that 2x is greater than or equal to x plus 2. Let's name one particular solution to question number 20. Now, question number 20, I always on this board, but I quickly put it up here. Here is the problem itself, 5x minus that is x plus 2, is greater than negative 5 times 1 plus x plus 3. That solution is x is greater than 0, and there's another video explaining that, okay? And we graphed right here. So they ask us here to name one particular solution to this question. Well, one particular solution could be any one number that would work, okay? Now, it's really any number that's going to be greater than 0. So you can say possible solution is 1, right? Or 15, or what's greater than 0? 0.0001. All of these would be solutions that you can name. So really, it's any number greater than 0, right? Now, do not pick 0, right, because x cannot equal 0, but it's any number greater than 0. Okay?
Math, Minute Math. When you need help, you use Minute Math. Minute Math, Minute Math. When you need help, you use Minute Math. MinuteMathTutor.com.